Coming at you from the Hypnotic World Epicenter, Toronto, Canada, this is the Brain Software Podcast. I'm Chris Thompson, and today is episode number 247, where Mike Mandel and I will equip you for your best ever year. So stay tuned.
Disclaimer, although we hope you have your best year ever, you certainly might if you apply the things we teach you. It's really up to you, and down to this. We're educators only, and we aren't telling you to do any of these things. Lucci.
And so I said to His Majesty, you can always get enough caviar, but you can never get enough toast to go with it. Unless, of course, you're Dennis Price Morgan, who could get an entire bakery if he wanted to. But, on the other hand, whatever happened to those wonderful turkey dinners made of sheets of brown paper and cardboard dipped in good quality malt vinegar we used to eat and love during the war?
These are days of victory. So step up to the Scroticon and welcome to the Maple Leaf Gardens of Mesmerism. A man who stayed lean and fit over Christmas and New Year's. Our own 70-year-old wonder boy, the Keith Richards of hypnosis, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Mandel.
Well, Chris, we are at it again. I've not seen this guy in a long time.
It has been
He's been in Mexico and Las Vegas and all over the place.
I think it's been a
tanned.
month. It's like, other than Zoom, I haven't seen you in an actual month here. A solid month.
Yeah,
so it's great to be back in the studio.
Great to be back, buddy.
It is, this one won't go live until sometime in February, I suppose it will be.
We don't need to tell them in advance. It'll be live
we
when they
want to talk about how to make this year. We've done this before, but we're going to recap a lot of awesome points to make your life
Do the stuff we do to have an awesome life. Do the stuff we do, because, guys, if you haven't figured it out, we're at work right now.
We're at work right now.
We have an awesome life. We dick around and have an awesome life, and you can too. We believe it. So, let's go with it.
Let's go. So we're going to start with our
this ordinary coffee.
Think tank words, which are 3 words that are going to serve as inspiration to unconsciously connect to the content at some point in this podcast. Sometimes we never get to them, but let's go through the 3 think tank words, which were randomly generated in some manner, I should say.
Well, let's do it. Savo Buchek's think tank.
Right.
So these are the actual ones.
Oh, these are good.
Are you ready? I will give the words, and then we'll deconstruct them. The first one is baggage. The second one is proposal. And the third one is bracelet.
Ooh, okay, I like this. So
take it away, man.
Let's start. And I'll just go through, actually, we'll do one at a time, but we'll do them briefly. Baggage, I mean, no real surprise there, although I have 2. The standard one is baggage. We all carry around baggage. It's a great metaphor. I'm going to give you a different one. When I went to Las Vegas last couple of weeks ago for the Traffic and Conversion Summit, which is a digital marketing conference, and Timothy and I went, I checked a bag for the first time ever going to Vegas. I thought, I'm going to check a bag. You know why? Because I learned it from you. Said hardly anything ever goes wrong. And then I was there for long enough. I wanted nicer clothes. I didn't just want to wear t-shirts and jeans. I wanted some jackets and stuff. So I checked a bag. You know what? It was great.
Yeah.
I got it offloaded a whole bunch of crap. So while baggage is considered bad in a lot of metaphors, in my case, it's like, put the baggage aside. Let someone else deal with my stuff.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. So there you go.
Well done.
Okay, what about you?
What about baggage? Again, it's I find this ties into obviously the whole therapeutic aspect of dropping baggage, but this reminds me of that side loop in my triple loop of you get on off the train and you realize you've left your baggage on the siding and you didn't need it, and it's a metaphor for letting go of stuff that you don't need. And right now, my wife and I are doing that very thing as we bring music into our house. And I add to guitars and all these different instruments. We're getting a bunch of stuff out. We're moving on because 70 years old. It's time to move on. Onward, Chris.
I'm going to move this microphone in so I can just face you a little bit better.
Yeah, I got a freaking microphone you can move.
All right. Oh, very funny.
All right. What about proposal?
Oh, by the way, when Mike says about baggage and side loops, we're talking about nested loop metaphors, which is a conversational hypnosis tool.
Yes, it is.
We teach it in the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You can also just type into Google Mike Mandel HT Live Keynote. You'll get a pretty good example of multiple loops. If you want to learn this stuff, you definitely want to study hypnosis.
Well, thanks
My
again.
My computer's beeping, so I'm going to mute it.
Shut that
Okay,
down.
proposal.
Okay.
Well, there's marriage proposal or there's contract proposal, but basically it's making an offer to someone. I think of it as making an offer, which is actually a marketing term.
You can't refuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, this computer is still beeping. So I'm
Shut
gonna,
it. Throw the keyboard.
Yeah,
I find
throw
that
it away.
works.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, it's quite enough.
So a proposal, it can be, it can be a marital proposal, but it can also be, like you said, a business thing.
Yeah, it's an offering.
So let's turn this into a proposal for everybody. We're offering
offer
you
you
the tools today in this
Exactly.
podcast where you can live your life like we live ours, have an absolute blast in better health, more fun, less stress. We're proposing that if you pay attention to these things, you can make some real changes.
All right. So
Thanks.
now we go on to bracelet.
That was the content.
I like it. There you go. That's your only
content.
now. If I say to you, Mike, we got to make sure there's good value in this podcast, you can say
Already
there
done.
was.
Already
There
dealt with,
was.
yeah.
It's already done.
So
All
about
right.
bracelet.
Okay. Interestingly, I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah.
When I was at Traffic and Conversion Summit, I got to hang out with a lot of my really awesome marketing friends, some of whom I had not yet met in person because I only knew them from Zoom meetings that we do weekly. And this one guy, Gabriel, the last day, he opens up this box. I guess he made a whole bunch of these online.
Yeah.
And these are really cool. And it says,
How much did you sell it for?
He just gave them all.
Okay.
He says, it says on it, you are greatness, don't fight it. Now, as a hypnotist, don't fight it. I would rephrase that as a positive language.
Right away.
But it's awesome. It's like, to me, a bracelet serves as a reminder.
Of course.
Okay, so I think empowering question, I think important message, and in this case, friendship. And there's such a thing as a friendship bracelet. So this guy, Gabriel, he's a freaking awesome guy.
Well, he sounds
he's
like
a great friend, and it was so nice to hang out with him in Las Vegas. And so getting this, it's a reminder, I am connected to smart, awesome people who all support each other and believe in each other. There you go.
That's solid, man. So let's string them all together.
All right.
Let's let go of any baggage, and we're proposing that you can have a great year and bring your friends to bear on the situation too, because the stuff you learn can change their lives as well.
Imagine
and for some of you, this won't be a new learning experience, today's podcast. It'll be a good reminder, though, because we all need to be reminded of these things, all of us. And when I say all of us, I really mean all of you.
That's it.
All right.
All right. Now, before we get into the key points, let's just remind you all that the Architecture of Hypnosis is coming up in Toronto. You're going to want to be there. People keep talking about how awesome it is. It's not just a hypnosis class. It's a way to connect with a bunch of really smart people, hang out with us, learn life-changing skills, hypnosis and personal development, all wrapped into one freaking amazing week in Toronto.
5 days,
in
5
May.
life-changing days. The master class of 7 people is already filled, but the regular class, which is still suitable for hypnosis trainers, we know because we've trained them. Come and train with us, and we fix the mistakes.
I'm going to give a URL now. Ready?
it.
MikeMandelHypnosis.com/events. And you'll see it right there at the top of the page, the Architecture of Hypnosis. So check it out. And if you can't make it, you can always join the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy because it's freaking awesome and you don't have to travel.
And people love it so much. I'll just say as a side note, we've got young Catherine coming over from the Isle of Man. She has to pluck in advance to get off the island. And they're going to be here. She's going to be here for the 4th time every 6 months. I mean, it's insane. She's a phenomenal hypnotist, a very good friend. But that's what people think about what we're teaching.
Quite
so
a few people are coming back. It's going to be awesome. All right, over to you, Mike.
Well, let's start changing your attitude for the year. You really have to adopt a winning attitude right off the bat, even if it feels completely unnatural. You have to change the way you perceive what you're going to do instead of, I hope I do. I've got a friend who said to me last week, we might be, he's got a Filipino wife. She's a lovely woman. He's a great guy. And he said to me, I guess she's Filipina, but he said to me, we might be moving to the Philippines. She wants to do that. I'm going, I'll never see you if you move to the freaking Philippines. He says, well, I don't want to. I hope I don't. What does that mean? If you don't want to, then don't.
That really is disempowering, especially
Totally.
I hope I don't. That says I have no freaking control over my life. Now, by the way, a lot of people would love to move to the Philippines. I mean, it's beautiful
Yes,
beaches and all that. And anyway, but if you aren't someone who wants to, for whatever reason, because you have a lot of family, friends in Canada, and you don't want to leave, and you go, I hope I don't. What does that say about your personal power and your willingness to stand up for what you want?
Virtually non-existent.
Yeah.
Now, I believe all of us in relationships should be helping our spouse or significant other and helping them have a great life. But sometimes you're going to have to negotiate these things. So drop all the, I hope, and I wish it would. Yeah, maybe, probably. You got to change the attitude, first of all. People call it hardening of the attitude.
Hope is fine to have, but I remember I did a presentation many years ago, and I said, hope without action. I call it flaccid hope. You got it, but you can't use it.
Okay, that put an unfortunate image in my mind
There you go. I thought you might like that.
So, yeah.
So
no,
there
I
you
didn't
go.
like
but
it.
if you think about it, it's so
No.
true, right? You have something that you can't just use hope. You must
Right.
put something into action. And in order to put something into action, you have to actually make a decision. Now, you can hope that you're going to win a lottery, and you can't just decide,
Right.
I'm going to win the
Right.
lottery. You have to decide to buy
You have
tickets.
to ask the universe to give it to
which,
you.
by the way, is really like anyone who gives you investing advice, if they tell you to buy lottery tickets, they're stupid.
Well, remember it said in Canada, something like 48% of people
That's
from a
their
national
retirement
poll,
plan.
their
Yeah.
retirement plan is to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like, I suppose it's entertainment to some people too. And I get that. Whenever I go to a casino, if I ever like gamble $20 or something,
Yeah.
I treat it as entertainment.
totally.
It is not a freaking investment strategy. Excuse me.
coughed on my arm,
Oh,
you
I did.
bastard.
Oh, we
Horrible.
gotta, now that
I'm gonna
COVID's
keep
over,
this sleeve
can we
down.
can we get back to spasmatic
Just one
coughing?
sleeve up, one sleeve down. Oh, yeah, we can get back to
When
that.
we were audio only podcast, remember you used to spasmodically cough on me?
Spasmodically. Yeah.
Spasmodically, yeah.
Just suddenly grab his shoulder, cough on the back of his neck.
All right.
Fantastic.
Very
Bring that
funny.
back.
Ha, ha.
Now, here, listen, while we're talking about all this stuff, and back to lotteries for a
Yeah.
second. About once every 6 months, I buy a Lotto Max. It's $5, just for fun.
It's entertainment.
And I sign it because Heather's in a group of friends and they do lottery tickets. I sign it because if I win $8 million, I'm not
You
sure.
wanna know it's yours.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah.
Well, and hers, but not everyone else. So,
Yeah.
what do you want to work on this year? And it doesn't have to be, oh, work, I hate work. I hate work too.
What do you want to improve?
What do you want to improve?
What do you want to enjoy improving?
What are the big chunks? Your health? You know, you want to build up a good, strong wellness component to your life. Is it your health? Is it your wealth? Do
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you're going to survive whatever financial woes are coming down? And they probably are.
Your relationships, your career, and your recreation. Those are the health, wealth, relationships, career, recreation. Those are the 5 areas we talk about in our personal development academy.
That's why they pay the big bucks.
Which is, by the way,
just like that, the
we
information.
recently recreated the entire personal development academy.
Yes, we did.
It's part of the personal growth membership on our
Yes.
website, which you can find under the products tab. And it's awesome, but we'll give you some nutshell stuff.
Oh, yeah, we will. Now, here, I want to tell you a side thing here. I saw the movie, I think it was What's Up, Tiger Lily in the 60s. Peter Sellers, who was a
Okay.
comic genius, was with Goldie Hawn, and she's pretty hot back then. Actually, Heather and I ran into her and Kurt Russell in
Yeah, I
Toronto.
remember you
it
told
was
me
nice.
that, yeah.
They're very nice people. But Peter Sellers, he just got this girl, and they've just gotten married, and they're in a French cafe, and the waiter comes over, and he says to him, "You just got married?" He said, "Yeah." And he says with his French accent, "May you always have a penis."
penis.
A penis. And he looked
penis.
shocked, and she's laughing. He said happiness. Now, happiness is a value to work on this year. If your overarching happiness is really high, what's happening to you isn't going to be as bad. Like a strong happiness, a joyful attitude towards life fixes a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
It really does.
Well, you know how I often complain about ridiculous customer service
I wouldn't
stuff.
say often. I'd say
And-
constantly.
Yeah, there you go.
Often.
One day I'll show you the wine glass that my daughter bought me for Christmas. Now, I either have to decide to laugh more about ridiculous customer service
Yeah.
stuff or not do it. Right?
Yeah.
And I've been doing a bit of both. I've
Yeah.
really extracted myself from a lot of that. But yeah, there are certain parts of your life where you might look at and go, I have a lot of happiness here. I'm laughing all the time. That's great. Like you and I hanging out.
But I don't have a penis.
But there are
here.
there are other areas of my life where
Yeah.
maybe I need to laugh more and self-confess here, right? So there you go.
Oh, man. The self-confess.
Self-confession. It's a self-confession. There
Chris,
you go.
it's a self-confession.
All right, what else you got?
Okay, so find the big chunks. You want to improve your intellect, which is a great thing to do.
yeah.
Emotional issues. Do you have emotional baggage you want to drop? There's all kinds of tools. You can do this stuff yourself. And for me, this year is a year of music. I'm playing guitar more. I got a nice Martin guitar. I'm going to be playing piano. I'm getting lessons from the Royal Conservatory of Music.
And
I'm
you
playing
bought
my
a
uke.
banjo.
A lot of banjo. I'm doing banjo lessons. Music is filling my life, so that's
In fact,
good.
talk about this very briefly. You had a newsletter that you wrote a couple of weeks ago. By the way, if you're not on our newsletter list, anyone
must
on our
be.
mailing list in any form is going to get the Sunday newsletter, which is
Yeah.
a letter from Mike, and we call it Open Mike. Oh, amazing. You're so brilliant. But it's a lot of really useful stories. You get to know the real Mike Mandel. It's not just about hypnosis and personal development, but there's usually a good tie-in. Anyway, you wrote about how you started to appreciate country music, which is so
know.
funny because
I know.
we have never talked about this.
Never.
And I started to appreciate it because there's a bunch of guys on my baseball team in the summer, and they really like it.
Yeah.
I'm listening to us, play some while we're hanging out. I'm like, It's actually pretty good.
It's amazing. Well, it was actually that series, the PBS series, Country Music. Heather got me for Christmas. It's 16 hours. And we watched it and we're stunned. And it gave me a musical education beyond anything I had. So she said, I want you to get a banjo. So I've been doing the lessons. I'm thinking of switching. I might not be the Keith Richards of hypnosis anymore. I might be the Waylon Jennings of hypnosis.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, okay. So
nice.
it continues. So find what's most important to you, not someone else. It's got to be something that energizes you that you want to change.
And there's really no freaking point in waiting. Like if I think back to when I was in my early 20s and I saw you, I was in my late teens. Like I was 19 or so when you started doing, when I started watching you do stage hypnosis at my university. I think I had just turned 18 the first year. So I was 19 when I saw you do the brain software seminar that year and the second time I saw you. Anyway, point being, I got very interested in hypnosis.
Yeah.
I didn't wait around and go, maybe one day I should learn hypnosis. I started reading whatever I could get my hands on right away.
Yep.
And similarly, when you decided, this country music stuff's pretty cool, you just went out and bought a freaking banjo and started signing up for
70. I
lessons.
don't know how many years I got left.
But even if you're 20, why the hell would you wait?
Scott Adams, our friend, said, life is short. Remember that. It's short. You don't know.
And if you want to learn hypnosis, why would you wait? You can start right now. There we go.
So you said when you were 18, so what would you call that year? When you were 18, it was the year of fill in the blank.
Oh man, you got a good joke here. I can tell. It was. I would say it was the year of escaping my shell.
Okay, that's good.
I went into university.
Oh, there we go. It's really annoying.
I got into university and I really started to come into comfort with my own social skills and stuff like that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, okay.
I want you to ask me my year 18 was, but I want you to try not to laugh.
When you were 18, Mike, it was the year of blank.
It was the only year of my life that I can honestly call the year of the Alice.
That's just ridiculous.
It's true.
Okay,
so here's a thought.
Explain that
it's your responsible. We believe it's your responsible to be as fit, healthy, smart, and wealthy as possible because it's not about being greedy or selfish. It's about being the best you, because then you can put it out there for other people. It enables you to help more people live better lives. I mean, it really, really does.
I really love that you said selfish because this is a really great reframe. I wish we had talked about this with Scott Adams actually on that podcast. Right. Maybe I'll send him a tweet or something, or an X, whatever, a post, whatever you call Twitter these days.
Kids are calling it these days. Yeah.
A lot of times people go, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. That's selfish. That's selfish." I want to propose to you all and to you.
Well, there's the word propose.
I think we've.
It's a proposal. You've
holy
just used
crap!
It.
It worked
amazing.
out.
Okay,
and you can write this on a bracelet if you want.
Yeah,
and let the baggage go.
Brilliant.
Every single freaking thing you do is selfish.
Yeah.
Why now? Let's go. Oh well, I give away turkeys at Christmas to homeless people.
Because
why
do
you do that?
Feel better.
What does it do for you? It makes you feel better, right?
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
There's something in your human, like we really like the Tony Robbins 6 human needs model. There's a lot of different models that we teach in the personal growth.
And so on, yeah.
We teach them in the Personal Growth Academy.
We do.
Personal Development Academy.
Yes, we do.
Can't even know the product names of our own stuff. No. The whole idea of growth and contribution and significance and certainty and all these things that we want, well, we do things because they give us something. It could be an emotional feeling that makes us feel good, right? Why do we help our kids learn to tie their shoes when they're young? Because we feel great about being an awesome parent, and we like the result. We like seeing that. It gives us some pride. We're helping other people. It's always for selfish reasons. So guess what? That backs up your point. Build your strength. Build
the
your
best
wealth.
You can be.
Build your knowledge. And admit that it's for selfish reasons, and everything is selfish, guys. Everything.
I saw a thing once. Mother Teresa was interviewed, and here's a woman who has given her life, gave her life to helping in Calcutta people who are seriously ill with leprosy and all sorts of stuff. And someone interviewed her and said, "Why do you do this? It's such hard work." And she said, "Because it makes me feel so good to help them." So there it is. Even Mother Teresa. So you can certainly take it from us. Zig Ziglar, the motivational speaker who's no longer with us, he gave a great line, and Freddie Jacquin loved this.
Oh, yeah.
You can get anything you want out of life if you help enough other people get what they want out of life. That's how we run our business.
Yeah.
Help people get what they want out of life. We don't compete with them, and boy, does it ever come back on you. So set some clear and realistic goals. Your goals must be smart.
Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, or putting some time constraint on them. So you don't just say, I want to
want
be
more money.
I want to be a millionaire. When specifically, right, or whatever. Like I'm actually coming up on this time boundary right now.
Right.
I set a goal many years ago, and it's just a silly one, but it's about fitness and strength, and it's an achievement for me. I want to be able to do something called a press handstand from a straddle position.
Right.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm getting so freaking close. But my goal was to get there by the time I turn 50, which is this September, guys. Like I'm pushing 50. I don't have a heck of a lot of time left, so I'm practicing every freaking
You're a
day.
bastard. You're saying, I don't have a lot of time left.
No, I mean
Hey,
just
you're
before
20
that
years
birthday.
younger than me.
I
You're
just
saying
mean
not having a lot of time
before
left.
some non-significant birthday. It's just a day, but it was the goal that I set. I wanted to be able to do that by the time I was 50 because I thought, well, if a 50-year-old man can do that, that's usually pretty damn impressive.
Totally impressive. I've seen your gym, and it's amazing. Your home gym. Now, specific. You want it to be measurable. How will you know you have this goal? How will you know? Because you can sail right past it and have it and still be trying to go after it. Is it achievable? Is it possible? If some idiot says, I want to have $100 million by tomorrow, well, you got to start earning like hundreds of thousands pretty well every second until then. You got to think it through. That's what realistic means. Is it achievable? Is it realistic? And is it time bound? Meaning, how much time are you willing to put into this? But if you do that, we would also add, it's got to be ecological for yourself and others. If you become a multi-gazillionaire, as we are, and if you were to do, like, if it wrecked your life, or wrecks your relationships or something with your kids or your family, whatever.
Well, that's not ecological.
Necessarily a good. Yeah, it's not ecological.
Yeah, that's a crappy thing. That's a lot of people go around bragging about their wealth and stuff like that, and they come across as dicks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we haven't said that.
I wasn't bragging.
They come across. No, you were just joking around.
Yeah. So now look, learn to use the mornings. This is a key thing. But I'm not a morning person. Listen, guys. I was never a morning person. I worked in bars and universities and stuff at night. I'd often be leaving an event at midnight or afterwards and driving 3 hours home, crashing out. Sleeping until 9:30 every morning was normal for me. The first 2 hours, I'd sit there with coffee, just quietly swearing, trying to get my brain back in gear. But now, because, God bless him, my Egyptian Mao cat Gwai here, from Lord of the Rings, he's a morning cat. He wakes up somewhere around 6:30 every day. And so I've adjusted my schedule because he goes crazy and he has to have his ritual. You know, everything has to be done according to his time frame.
Or he'll scratch your cornea.
Yeah, scratch Heather's cornea. But anyway, so what I've done is it's changed my schedule. I wake up naturally, usually before he even starts howling. So around 6 o'clock, I'm awake. I get up right away, put the fires on, turn on the furnace, get the coffee going. I've said it the night before. And I'm wide awake to start my day because I go to bed at 10:30 now.
Yeah.
And by shifting everything, I never would have believed I could be a morning person. But I get so much more done than I used to, and I feel better in the mornings, too.
Your interesting point there about making sure you go to bed at an appropriate time. One of the things that I've been experimenting with, because I was getting into a habit of working too late into the evening.
Right.
And then now I might still go to bed at, say, 11 or something. Oh. But my brain was on active mode right up until that moment. So what I started doing in the last couple of weeks is actually going up to the bedroom around
Don't go admitting too much.
8:30.
Yeah.
And I'll just chill out. I might read some social media. I might clean up some emails, watch a little Netflix or something like that. My wife is always there too, but she's watching different shows, and we'll have conversations about what we're doing and hang out together. But what happens is then my brain is in chill mode. And so going to sleep by 10 is automatic now, no
that's
problem.
Nice.
Then I'm waking up at maybe 6 a.m. I've had 8 hours of sleep, and I'll get up and I'll do my workout. I'll have my coffee.
Man.
I'll do some reading.
And I find as I've gotten older, I used to need 9 hours. I mean, I really did.
I don't need 9.
7.5.
7,
which is a full sleep cycle fewer.
Yeah.
So that's great. If you can switch to the morning, guess what happens? It enables you to front end load whatever's important. If you got stuff you're putting off because it's unpleasant, one of my agents told me years ago, Kay White, lovely woman, got me a lot of work. She said, whenever something's unpleasant, she said, I do it right away.
Yeah.
Instead of that anticipate, this is going to be bad. Just get it out of the way. You start in the mornings you can. And a short workout in the morning. I love to be working out by 8 a.m. And that oxygenates the brain. It reduces the cortisol in your system.
It gets you feeling good, too.
And you feel terrific. It sets you for a day of victory because these are days
It really does. And we've said this before. We've done different podcasts on health, fitness, and stuff like that. You do not need a lot of time invested in your workout.
Right.
It's great if you have the time, but if all you do is find some really good bodyweight strength exercises that you can do a couple of times a week, essentially to failure, you're done your physical part, your strength training part of your workout. in like 10 minutes, 12 minutes max, right?
Oh, man.
Now, if you want
great,
more,
yeah.
one of the things that I would notice about myself is, and here's my, my iPad with its little, it's like a mini.
This is mine.
It's like a keyboard.
It's my own.
It's almost like a little laptop, but
Yeah.
I would love to waste a lot of time reading social media, reading emails, watching videos that could be interesting. Like I'm learning a lot of cool stuff, but why do I have to sit still while I do it? So this last week, I told you, I was on Amazon looking for, what can I get, like a little desk that'll hang over the Peloton, which is a bike, hang over the handlebar. And I saw the darn thing, and it was like a $60 thing. Okay, no big deal.
Nothing to a man of your means.
But I look at it and go, it's a piece of plastic cut to a certain shape with a hole in it that fits around the handlebar. I just copied the design and made it out of plywood with my jigsaw and a drill and some sandpaper.
Bang at the door. The plywood police are here.
It's
for
right
the
there.
infraction,
Anyway,
yeah.
so I'm really enjoying now the fact that I can sit there and I can pedal for 45 minutes while reading stuff because I don't need to think about pedaling, but I do have to think about what I'm doing, let's say, on the device. So
Right.
I really love the idea of marrying a cognitively what do you got? Like a high cognitive load task with a low cognitive load
Are you
task.
talking about drugs here?
I don't need to I don't need to think when I'm pedaling, but I do
Right.
want to think when I'm doing my work. So I can not think and pedal, get some exercise in.
Well,
my point is it's just a way to get extra movement in.
Brilliant.
It's
The way
not required.
our boy Timothy September.
Yeah, he
the
put
way
a
he's
treadmill
got
under
a
his
treadmill
desk.
and he's
Yeah.
on it while he's working. Like it's pretty amazing.
So find things that you can do that are a nice combination of don't have to think, do have to think, and you can put them together.
I like just a good exercise. Scary thing I was talking about bourbon. Now look at the time, Chris.
Yeah, we're only 25 minutes in. We're
Yeah,
good.
look how much we've got to
Oh,
go
my
through.
goodness.
My
Okay.
F.
Oh,
Okay,
you're fine.
we're gonna fly.
All right.
Here's a good one, guys. Learn the art of gratitude to shut down negativity.
Oh, yeah.
It is great at the end of your day. What were you grateful for today? What are you grateful for right now? And to whom are you grateful? You have to have an object of gratitude.
So the moment you catch yourself wanting to naturally,
woe is me,
again,
this
the
happened.
neuroplasticity will happen here, right? So if you have a neural network that is programmed to go, these bastards, blah 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 blah. Which I've often done in the customer service field, which is why I shouldn't do it. Instead, go, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I have an awesome business with my best friend and that we have customers who love what we do. I should be great. Just immediately shut off the complaint, switch into being grateful, and your brain will rewire in time. It won't happen immediately.
I think about it too, Chris, and no joke this time, serious.
Okay.
I absolutely agree with you because at the worst, my job is still fun.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, what a drag. I've got to go to Las Vegas and present for 50 minutes and hang out with all these amazing people. You change I have to I get to.
Yeah.
It means you're still above ground. You're still alive.
Yes.
So gratitude. And here, look, learn to breathe properly. Reducing stress and anxiety.
I'm going to do it right now.
Make it part of your life. I was doing 7-11 breathing for a while. Where you breathe in for a 7 count, breathe up for an 11 count. So the exhalation turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is involved with relaxation, lower blood pressure, slower heart rate, and so on, the vagus nerve. But I've switched to Huberman's technique.
Yeah,
I freaking love it. I'm doing this routinely. The physiological sigh, it's called. So you breathe in a lot through your nose and then instantly go higher, like more air. So you go as full as you can, then slow, really slow exhalation. 3 times you'll feel the difference. I've been doing it 5 times every day.
I think
I'm
the
just
key-
laid back.
I have a funny feeling that doesn't really
come on,
matter.
funny feeling.
It doesn't really matter if you do the whole sniff in multiple times or whatever, as long as you exhale slowly.
Well,
and
Huberman on
chill.
his video
Yeah.
says elsewhere.
Okay,
Otherwise.
well, he could be
said
right.
That second sniff. Well, he said they got all the research data. He said that second sniff opens the alveoli wide. And blows out residual carbon
You know
dioxide.
what? I'll just trust him anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares if I'm right or wrong? Doesn't
Sure.
matter. I'll do it even if there's just a placebo benefit from it.
Box breathing too.
Yeah.
You know, in for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count, out for a 4 count. You know, hold for a 4 count. Just another easy way. Huberman's is brilliant though. Do it 3-5 times in a row. Get enough sleep. There's nothing heroic about not sleeping. I've met so many people, and I'm going to just set them up with this.
Were you asleep when we were
Dick.
just talking about that?
Dick. I'm talking about quantity of sleep, not what time you get up.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you call people who brag about how little they sleep? Answer,
Dicks. That's right.
There's nothing noble about it. People, I can get by on 4 hours a night. Like that. I knew you said a week.
I mean, like, think about how ridiculous it would be to brag about other areas of lack in your life. I'm completely
I only go
broke.
to the bathroom once every 4 days.
I only need $20 a week to live on crackers and water. Right? Or
Sucks to be you.
I only drink 200 milliliters of water every day. I get by on dehydration.
It's the tone of your voice is making it so annoying.
There's this earnest quality to it or something.
Earnest pride, though. Yeah, and how about this? I'm going to let you comment on this.
I only shower monthly.
Oh, gosh, man. When I was in high school, one of the guys in my class, we're all at a buddy's house playing guitars, and he was sitting in my friend's room with his head against the wall, sitting on the bed. And he had long hair, and he was into prog rock and that smart guy. But he said, I haven't washed my hair in 2 weeks.
Wow, you should feel
bragging
proud.
about this. And when he got up and left,
there was a stain on the wall.
There was a freaking oil stain in the wallpaper of the guy's wall.
Like Homer Simpson when he was trying to gain weight for disability or something.
Eating
and
butter or something?
Homer's eating, and Bart's training him on like how to eat more, how to determine if there's fat in it. And he wipes a napkin that's like dipped in bacon grease on the wall of the cafe, and all of a sudden you're seeing through the wall. It was so funny.
It's horrible, like paper.
Because if you wipe fat
Got it.
on tissue, it's like
I'm going to let you comment on this one, but do not Ken Sweatman it. We got a long way to go.
Okay.
Make exercise part of your life, not as a goal, but as a process.
I'm just going to say what we just said a moment ago, and I'll recap that is you need 10 minutes like a couple of times a week to do strength training. That's it. And then add extra movement. Look for opportunities, like I said, with the Peloton desk and, pedaling while doing work or stand-up treadmill while doing work. Just find ways. It could be park farther away from the grocery store, park at the end of the lot.
Sure.
Right? Get more movement in. Just make it important to you, and it'll happen. You have to decide, and then you have to start doing it.
Right. And also with the whole movement thing. Yeah, when we were at the cabin this summer, I was walking 20 miles a week.
Yeah,
and that was
you were
on
doing,
top
yeah.
of my combat conditioning workouts. I was feeling amazing.
And what do you do? And I'm serious here. Like, you don't listen to podcasts while you walk or anything like that.
I zone out. I don't.
So what do you do with your brain while you're walking?
It just goes on idle.
Exactly. Sometimes you're just thinking about things in your life. Ideas will come up, epiphanies, and go, oh, this is great. Realizations, whatever. It's great, right? Because when you're walking, you don't need to use your brain to take the steps very much. So your brain goes inside. You go into trance.
Yep, definitely.
Hypnosis.
The rhythmic
and you start,
walking does it too.
Yeah, it makes your life better. So even if you're not I don't believe in hypnosis, I can't be hypnotized. Go for a walk and tell me you didn't go into a trance.
Here's what I heard. Oh, I can't be hypnotized. I don't believe in hypnosis. You say, well, go. And I'm saying, don't say it.
For a walk. Go for a walk. Okay. By the way, whenever you want to say the F word, just go, funny. I love doing that.
I'd say F.
Funny, yeah.
I like to say my F.
Yeah.
It's just a great one. That was Bubbles on Trailer Park Boys. Now look,
all right.
Stop eating stuff that isn't food.
Oh, this is
not kidding.
Easy
so
thing.
Read the labels. Watch out for hidden sugar. My wife was buying this Smart popcorn. It was delicious, but we ate a lot of it. And it's popcorn. It's
not
cheese.
real food.
Well, second ingredient's like maltodextrose, which is it's sugar. It's another name for sugar.
Yeah, maltodextrin, I think.
Yeah, one of those damn things.
Anyway, if you simply buy stuff that's actual food.
What your grandparents would know as food.
And then throw away the crap that isn't and reduce the amount that you eat out where you're buying food that you don't really know what's in it. It's very simple. And if you combine that with the idea of going to bed at a decent hour so that, because when I was gaining some weight in the last few months, you know why?
Booze.
Staying up late.
Oh.
Well, yeah, maybe I might have had a beer or something like that. But what's going to happen? I'm staying up late. Let's say I have a beer.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I feel like having some snack. So eat some crap, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you go to bed at an earlier hour. You're not tempted to eat all that crap, and it solves the problem entirely.
I say stop eating by 7 p.m. Like we eat supper early, and I want to stop eating and drinking by 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's just way better. And if you're hungry, if you find yourself snacking is not natural. This crap now that kids have breakfast, then they have a mid-morning snack at school of milk and cookies, then they have lunch, then they have an afternoon
your
snack
calcium,
of milk
Mike,
and
so
cookies.
Here's your chocolate milk because we want to bribe the kids to drink their milk.
And then have your bedtime snack of milk and cookies. Yeah. And it's, guys, if you're snacking, I don't mean like a 5-year-old, but if you're snacking, Mark Sisson said you're not eating enough protein.
Yeah, 100%.
Protein is satiating. Now, what about, I said avoid the seed oils. Talk about that.
Well, yeah, there's some controversy over whether seed oils are really bad for you, etc. I would say if you have to use things like hexane to extract the oil from corn seeds and soybeans, is probably not a freaking good thing. Whereas if you can just eat natural fats that come from things like butter or olive oil. By the way, olive oil is not vegetable oil. Seed oils are so-called, they try to make it sound healthy. It's vegetable oil. No, it comes from a freaking grain. It's solvent-extracted seed oils.
Like canola.
And they have to deodorize them and do all kinds of nasty, gross things.
What is deuterize?
Deodorize. Sorry, did I say deodorize? I must be having a stroke right now. If you have to eat stuff that is for the profit of the food industry, it's probably not very good for you. And those seed oils are generally for the profit of the food industry because they're cheaper to make.
It's like oils,
and this is where there's some debate. It's like, okay, well, I think you're better off just eating, real food that someone from 50, 60, 70 years ago would recognize. Well, they didn't have, soybean oil and all that kind of stuff back then. Make salad dressings yourself. Use avocado or olive oil or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Cook with ghee instead of
But you know what we're cooking with now? We still cook with ghee. When I do fried eggs, I cook them in beef tallow from the farmer's market.
See, that's a
and
real
the eggs
fat.
Are crispy and fantastic.
Yeah, and you don't need to go...
You're going to kill yourself and have a heart attack. Wrong. My heart's been checked on a machine. I've got the heart of a guy in his 30s, so forget it.
And you don't need to throw a bunch of this in the frying pan just because you can. You only need enough to cook with.
A little bit.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
cut down the carbs, especially sugar. Cut down sugar. Sugar is rough on your pancreas. You're eating chocolate bars and stuff and drinking cans of soda, which have like 9 teaspoons of sugar. Basically, you're taking a piece of barbed wire and whipping your pancreas with it. It's not a good thing. It puts you in frantic survival mode, trying to drastically get your blood sugar down.
Man.
Also, get enough high-quality protein.
Yeah.
Get enough. And that, for me, it's probably 60 grams a day minimum.
And there's so many simple ways to get it, whether it be from chicken breast, eggs, beef. Ground beef is very nutritious and very cheap. Some cheese, some nuts. Like, keep in mind,
fish.
You simply want to avoid the nasty combination of carbohydrates and fats mixed together.
Like donuts.
They really only exist in nature in breast milk, which is to fatten up babies. And
Can we
things
say
like,
that on this?
Things like acorns, which are to fatten up rodents that are going to hibernation.
Now, it's interesting you should say that because Heather and I get these amazing pork chops from Spain through this Woodward Meats or whatever it's called. And these pigs, they're brown with stripes on them. They live in the wild and they eat acorns.
And that's what probably fattens them up at certain points. So
cut
that's
down your
the thing, right? If in nature, if this mixture of carbohydrates and fats, which is all yummy donuts and cupcakes and cookies and all this wonderful stuff,
tastes delicious.
Yeah, it tastes wonderful and it fattens you up. In nature, these things don't exist unless they are to fatten up an animal.
Unless you're acorning off.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
now, how about this? Examine your relationships. Here we are. Sorry, I missed one. Learn to prioritize. Everything is not the same level of importance. Take care of the most important stuff. Get that done. Then to free up the time. I love that front end loading the unpleasant but important stuff.
Yeah.
Get that done. It makes a huge difference. Then you can enjoy your time off instead of worrying in the background. We sort of touched on that before. But learn something new. To build your schema base, learn something new every year. So this year for me, I'm still keeping my word onward, as you'll see in a few minutes. But this year, what I'm doing is learning something. I'm learning to play piano and read music. I'm learning to play banjo.
Do stuff that you
and
enjoy.
It's a blast. It's just find something new to learn.
If you find something that you enjoy and that will make a meaningful difference to your life at the same time, and you mash those things together, life of your dreams.
I didn't like the way you did it.
I know. Let's do it the proper way. Ready?
Excellent.
There we go.
Okay, what about this one? Examine your relationships. Now, this can be difficult.
The good and the bad, right?
Right. Which ones require work and need you to pull some weeds? If you take the metaphor of your significant other and you, presume you have one, as a garden. It could be your kids, too. A garden.
Oh, we go and get
Gardens
weeds.
need maintenance.
Yeah.
You've got to dig out things sometimes. You've got to pull weeds, and you keep it well tended. And ask yourself, are any of your relationships or your friendships becoming toxic?
And also ask yourself, is any of it your fault? Are you doing anything? Think about, seriously, remember in the theater of the mind NLP intervention, which we also call the way to change anybody else's behavior. Here's the
changing your own.
secret to
Yeah,
change
yeah.
someone else's behavior. Oh, guess newsflash, it's changing your own, right?
Yep.
There's a little spoiler in case you're
That's how you
checking
change
out
other
our
people.
NLP Essentials course on our website.
So check out, like, if your relationships are becoming toxic, and we've just gone through one of these with someone who was in our life for 40 years, and she's become so toxic, we've basically gone,
Yeah, there you go. You have to watch
sometimes
the podcast on video if you want to get these little nuggets.
well, I'll tell you, I did both middle fingers out, extended horizontal, though, the way
And
Melissa
mouth
Tears showed
some
me.
nasty
And mouth
words.
some nasty words. No, look, I didn't say it. Practice positive self-talk. How's that? Be your own Emile Coué. Remember Emile
Yes.
Coué?
In every day,
psychologist,
in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Now, I'm not telling you have to do
or
that.
every
It won't
day,
fix
in every
everything
way,
your
I'm
life.
getting better and better.
But notice your self-talk. Are you calling yourself an idiot? Oh, I'm such a dummy. I'm such... No, don't adopt these negative I am statements.
I do that sometimes, but only as a joke. Like, oh, I'm such an idiot. I
Yeah,
forgot
see,
X,
I
Y,
don't
Z.
even do
I
that.
don't actually believe I'm an idiot. I think I'm a very
Is there
smart
part
guy.
of you that does
I think there,
believe?
there you go. There is a part of me that believes that absolutely at times I behave like
Beautiful.
an idiot.
Change it back to
See,
behavior.
Take it into a behavior rather than an identity statement, because identity statements should only really be used when they are helpful. If you say, I am an idiot, not useful. I often behave, not even often, but I can at times behave like an idiot. That's a different thing. That's not an identity statement.
I've made a career of it.
Yeah, and then instead identify, I'm a freaking motivated and smart individual who gets things done.
Yeah, condition yourself with that. Put that in. Give yourself a periodic digital detox.
Oh, yeah.
I heard on the radio coming here, FM radio.
Like vacations are a
this
good time
rental
for
car.
that.
Yeah, they certainly
Yeah.
are. But the whole idea of a digital detox, they said now the evidence is in from, I think, the American Pediatric Association or whatever, that learning with paper is far more effective than kids learning online. It showed how, first they thought it was COVID and people not going to class, but now they found that learning digitally does
There's
not
something
have the
about
same
that
power to it.
hand-brain connection,
Yeah, I
right?
think so too. Fine
And
motor skills.
In fact, isn't it the term homunculus comes in here? There's
Yeah.
something about the number of nerve endings or connections between the brain and the hand, which
Yeah,
is
the
also
tactile
plays into
receptors and the tongue, the tip of the tongue. Yeah.
plays into mirroring hands. Richard Hill, Ernest Rossi, mirroring
Yes, it
hands.
does.
If you don't know what that is, just a therapeutic intervention that Ernest Rossi and Richard Hill came up with, which
And it's
is
brilliant.
freaking cool. And there's a reason that you look at the hands and not look at the elbows or look at the biceps or something.
Or anything else.
There's something about the hands. And so that to me connects in with the idea that writing stuff down is going to be a whole lot more effective than just typing it or whatever.
Do you notice, though, the number of tactile receptors you have in your tongue? So if you have something stuck in
huge.
your tooth, it feels like it's in it, like
Oh,
this big
yeah,
little crack in
totally.
the tooth. It's like, like just
Yeah,
horrifying.
like you eat something, and even you can feel like, oh,
Like
there's
in
a
beef
thing
tooth
there,
here.
and it's bothering. Yeah,
All right, so moving on here. Get out in nature sometimes. Walk, ride a bike, alone or with somebody else. You can listen to podcasts like ours.
Especially if you can get
listen to
some
music.
sunshine.
But get out and walk and breathe and rhythmically move your body. Do you know, in nature, in naturally occurring water like streams and lakes, and also in trees, there are fractals that have a beneficial effect on the human brain when we're visually exposed to them.
interesting.
It's very interesting. The patterns themselves, even the shifting shadows,
I like
the
that.
brain will use that in a very nurturing way.
I like
what
it a
about
lot.
giving back, Chris? Giving back, money, time, or other resources?
Yeah, well, again, remember I said it's all for selfish reasons. So you will feel good by helping other people and giving people, whether it be time or money.
right?
And you may not have the money to give, so you can give time. You can give
time,
You can give
sure.
some of your energy. You can give some of your love and your caring and your personality.
Yeah, I know of a woman, and she took on this thing to help her local community. Do you know what she did? They had this little thing that was put out by these nursing homes, and it was a little ice cream cart. And in her spare time, she went to these nursing homes and gave
Served
ice cream to the seniors.
Yeah, you'll make people
to
smile.
elevate their day.
Yeah, I mean, it
that's
goes against the
wonderful.
whole sugar thing that we talked about, but no, it's okay.
Well, there is that. How about this one? Read, and read.
Oh, buddy. You know what? In the last, again, since about January 15th, I started, and my wife, we both started reading daily. Now, I am a slow reader, and it takes me a long time to finish a book a lot of the time, so I get demotivated, and I'd rather do like a video or an audio or something like that. But a book, I just prefer the physical thing. So what I'm doing is I'm only reading for like 30 minutes. Maybe I'll get through 15 pages of a book. But that's it. And I'll do my daily 30-minute reading. And you know how long it'll take me to finish an average book? It'll be less than a month. I will end up reading 12 books a year just by spending 30 minutes a day reading, or even less.
I don't think you don't read for fun though, do you? You read
I find it fun learning new stuff, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't read fiction.
A richly textured work or something.
No.
Just the way I'm just opening this perfectly ordinary lit
Perfectly
thing.
ordinary. Yeah. There you go. So I do think it makes sense, and this reminds people of the concept of incrementalism, that I'm not going to sit down. Like Timothy, he bought me the Elon Musk biography, the Walter Isaacson. Not the Ashley Vance one that came out years ago, but there's a Walter Isaacson who's an amazing biographer.
Yeah.
He wrote the Steve Jobs one many years ago. Yeah. And so I'm getting somewhere with this. Years ago, my wife and I went to Costco, and we saw it happened to be around the time the Steve Jobs biography came out, and it's this massive book. And I turned to my wife and I said, now I know why the shopping carts at Costco are so huge. So Timothy brings me the Elon Musk biography. It's equally huge. And I go, oh, great. Now I got to go buy another suitcase. There's baggage again.
Clever.
So anyway, I brought it home. I am in the middle of another book. So my wife started reading it right away. She finished like 100 pages. I can't read that fast. I'm never going to sit down and just like read the whole book in one day, like some people can. But if you chunk it down incrementally to a something manageable, like a goal, smart, right? What's a manageable time frame under which to finish? Whether it be a chapter, whether it be, who cares? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of reading. It's easy to do. And guess what? Do you think you could also hop on your Peloton with your little reading tray there and read for 10 minutes while you pedal?
Well, the thing too is reading is active. It engages the brain actively. Television is passive. And you're just a receptive cone. And so I think it's important to engage the brain. I took a speed reading course with Howard David Berg or something many years ago, and it was supposed to get you up to such a point. And I did the test at the beginning, first day, 2-day course or whatever, and I was already reading like 5 times faster than what they're trying to get you to.
Yeah, you're not talking in your microphone.
I know, I am now.
You're horrible at this.
I am now. Yeah. Well, I was talking about reading though.
Yeah.
So here we go. You know the SQ3R method for learning? It was taught to me by a psychologist who was guidance counselor because I was bombing out in school and they were all stressed. But he said use the SQ3R method.
What does that
stands for survey, question, read, recite, review.
Oh, so survey. So you
look at the front and the back cover, read the inside inside the dust jacket.
Yeah.
And you're also going to read the introduction, you're going to scan down the chapter list.
Right.
And so that's survey. Then question. You're going to ask yourself questions about the material. How will this apply? So your brain's going to look for answers. Then you read the material. Then you recite what you remember from it and review as you start back at the top again.
That's cool.
It's a very cool method. It works very well.
I like it.
Not that I use it.
We need to wrap this up like in a couple of minutes
here. It's going to be done. Finances. Chris, discuss this super fast.
Okay.
Basic principles.
I think we have another podcast on this, so when we do the show notes, let's check to see if that's there or not. But in a nutshell, and I just want to preface this by saying most of my career before doing this full time was engineer and professional stock analyst. So I know a lot about money. And I left the stock analyst world because it's ridiculous. Nobody cares about the long term. If you want to learn about finances, you've got to learn how to budget so that you have an appropriate amount that you can save, which means invest for the long term. Now, I don't care if you're into real estate or into equity or dividend paying stocks, whatever it is, which is a form of equity. I don't care. Pick something that you will do and you will do for a long time. Pick something you will do long term, and that's the way to build wealth. That is the only way. If you want to learn about stock investing, I recommend you go to somewhere that teaches about long term, not trading, not day trading, not fantasy. Oh, maybe I'll win the lottery today. No, long term investing. I prefer the Motley Fool, fool.com. That's where I learned almost everything I know about long term investing,
and it's worked for you.
And it has been a fantastic investment of my own time. You've got to invest your time in learning how to invest your money so that it works for you.
Excellent. Well put. How about this one? Learn to listen. Use questions to unpack. Shut up. Use questions to unpack information.
Yeah.
My friend Al Pierce, he's your friend too. Super nice guy. One of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. A great listener, like no one else. When you talk to him, he is absolutely present with you. He's not, looking out the window and, they're playing football out there. He's there with you. And he listens, and then he asks very carefully chosen questions to unpack. And it's a wonderful thing because everybody loves talking about themselves. Well, not me, or him for that matter. But Yes, I love talking about myself and doing it right now. But he said, with this method, it just seems so natural that he listens intently, not in a weird way, like, Hannibal Lecter or something. But then he asks the questions to unpack what you've said. And he gets to know people really, really well and really quickly. Learn to listen. Find a creative outlet. Music, art, writing, whatever. Banjo, piano, reading music,
There you go.
blues guitar, blues ukulele.
Card
Found my
tricks.
blues harp.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking that up too.
Hypnosis. Personally,
Hypnosis.
hypnosis can be a great creative outlet. There you go.
Finally, use one word.
All right.
Instead of goal setting, what is the word that you're going to use for 2014? It's not
That
too late.
encompasses
All of it.
these
So
things.
for me, I've been using Onward for a long time. Here's how you install it. Back of your hand, in the channel between these fingers, tap it, and you say, I'm moving onward, whatever your word is. I'm moving forward. Onward is my word. It keeps me moving. Pick it. It could be health. It could be happiness. It could be just about anything. I tried flow once. It didn't work. It made me zone out all the time. Pick a word, apply it, make it work for you. Say it to yourself through the day. One that encompasses all the wonderful changes you want to make. And by installing it effortlessly and easily, the differences in your life will be superlatives.
All right.
So, Chris,
that
give us the
is
empowering
it.
question.
That's it for podcast 247, guys. So here's your empowering question. As I think of this coming year with all of its questions and uncertainty, what resources will I apply to my own life in order to have an absolutely brilliant year starting right now? That's right.
That's right. And the quick Metafive is, once I was preparing for a podcast and I was supposed to come up with a Metafive.
Uh-oh.
But I couldn't think of one. And come to think of it, it was this podcast. So I've just given you a Metafive, but it's sort of a Metafive.
Make sure you head on over to our website, MikeMandelHypnosis.com. If you want to come to Toronto and hang out with us in May, that's awesome. If you want to join the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, we just in November re-released, after 10 years, the version 2 of the MMHA. It's even better. It was already amazing, and it's freaking fantastic now. We'd love to have you learn hypnosis, learn NLP, learn personal development, learn how to make your life and the people of those around you
Time is short.
even better.
Life
and
is
we'll
short.
see you in the next episode.
Yes, we will. So let me just take us out by saying thanks once again and
good night.